lecture, idea, opportunities, invention and innovation. You have to understand these things during this lecture: definition of the opportunity, definition, different form of opportunities, how to identify the opportunities, characteristics and difference between the opportunities and the ideas. And when you consider some Fortune 500 companies which are highly related to the ICT. One company is the Japan Honda. The founder is the Shinichiro Honda. He was a mechanic, and he repaired the motorcycles. Then, why? There is a book written by this Shinichiro Honda about his biography. Then in that book, clearly mentioned how the Honda motorcycle developed. And first he wanted to develop the bicycle to his wife to go to the supermarket. So he used the cycle and fixed an engine. Instead of using paddling that bicycle, having this engine, his wife could go to the supermarket without any effort. So that is the first he thought how to develop the motorbike. Then gradually he developed that one, and he could brand that bicycle as Honda. So in that time there were several motorbikes, different bikes, but his bike has a specialty and he could succeed from that. So now not only that, when you consider the product, motorcycle, automobiles, commercial vehicles, scooters, generators, water pumps, garden equipments, motors, robotics, jet engines, jet aircraft, jet engines, solar cells, and different type of products. The Honda company is developing. You can see this is actually not the 2020. This is 2018 or something like that. The turnover is 121 billion. The 208,000 employees are working. Likewise, the Akio Morita, he's the founder of the Sony. One of his famous product was the Walkman. The Fortune 500 position is 113. And when you consider that Sony company turnover is 67 billion US dollars, and 131,000 people are working. And here, first he introduced the Walkman 1985 actually, 1979. First he introduced the stereo cassette player. While he was working, he wanted to listen to music. So he developed first Walkman in 1979, and it was very famous, and gradually he was developed for the 1985 professional Walkman and double cassette deck, and also personal Walkman he developed. And with that idea, you can find different Walkmans are there. Apple company introduced the iPod, a small device that can store more than 50,000 songs, and put it in your pocket and use in the headphones, then you can listen to music. This is little bit bulky because the cassette is a little bit bulky, but you can put it in the pocket, or you can hang it on in your belt. So then later it was introduced the CDs, and nowadays when you consider this idea is used by the mobile phones to store the music in the mobile phones. You can see the substitute of that one, having some sophisticated way and easy way introduced by the other companies. And Korea, when you go to Korea, Samsung 305 billion, 13500 position is Fortune 500 position is 13, and 489 people are working there. And Hyundai company 84 position is 84, and 79 billion US dollars, 104 employees are working. And LG, also the same, 180, position is 180. LG Electronics, turnover and the employees. When you just I introduce some Fortune 500, within that Fortune 500 company, the ICT innovations, these companies, the background of these companies is IT and ICT innovation. And this is the Germany. When you go to the German, you can find the Benz, BMW, Volkswagen, Allianz Finance, as well as Bayer. Especially these car manufacturing companies use the embedded systems with their cars. And when you go to the USA, you can find the number one is the Walmart. This is a supermarket chain. In this supermarket chain also, they have the sophisticated inventory control system using the RFID and a system. So this is the most sophisticated inventory system that they introduced to the world by this Walmart. And Ford, ExxonMobil is, and Apple, General Motors, Amazon. You know that Amazon is one of the very famous for the cloud and data centers, and HP. And when you consider this, when you see these companies, you could understand most of these companies, the success of these companies is the ICT innovation. When you consider the Amazon, first, for the first 5 years, the Amazon company didn't have the profits. So the stakeholders, the partners, wanted to leave that company because of not having the profit. Then he introduced the online shopping and as well as the Amazon web services. Now you can find it has become the Fortune 44th position of the Fortune 500 companies. Then what is an opportunity? All these companies could understand the opportunities they have had, and to satisfy the customer's requirement using that opportunity, they had some ideas, then implemented the idea, select the commercially viable ideas and implemented. So then what is an opportunity? Opportunity is actually, this also I explained earlier, requirements and unmet needs. Customers may have or the customer segment may have the requirements or unmet needs, and to satisfy this, they may have a certain set of, that will be the opportunity for that to introduce the new idea, so that they may have some various ideas to satisfy the unmet or unseen needs. Then using that, select the most suitable and commercially viable idea and develop the commercially viable product or service and marketing. And I explained this one in the previous lecture also. This is called the opportunity. Actually, having this one, there is an opportunity, and to satisfy this, have the idea and develop the commercial product and service marketing. And opportunity, we can explain, the opportunity is the favorable set of circumstances that creates a need for a new product, service, or the business. Favorable set of circumstances that creates a need for a new product, service, or the business. Then another definition of this opportunity is, from an economic perspective, entrepreneurial opportunity generally refers to the situation. We can generally refer to the situation that hold the potential for new economic value. The opportunity is a potential for a new economic value. Economic value is for the product or service. So you can see the similar idea was introduced Berry in 2007. Krisner is 1997, and Champa in 1934 also. The opportunities exist in reality. the role of the entrepreneur is to identify such opportunities and claim these that hold the potential to generate economic value. Well, see, there may have some two types of opportunities: opportunities for the profit and entrepreneurial opportunities. Consider that due to uh, the demand and the supply, if a supply is less than the demand of that certain product or service, what would happen? They may have an opportunity to make the profit. For an example, nowadays you can find the different commodity products. Even in the rice, the supply is low than the demand. In such case, the price will go up. That is the simple theory, economic theory. That also will create the opportunity. That is a short-term opportunity. We cannot expect that would be that could be prevail in a long period of time. But when the items come to the market, the demand is going down and they can't earn more. The requires involves the optimization within the existing ends means the framework. Entrepreneurial opportunities is a requirement discovery for new ends means the relationship. So another one opportunity is customer may have a certain requirement, but to satisfy their requirements, there is no any product or service in the market. And if you are an innovator or the researcher, you may have some ideas to satisfy their requirement. So that will be an opportunity as well as opportunity to introduce a new idea, a new product. For the new product, you may have a certain set of ideas and select the suitable one to convert it to the commercially viable product or service. The 5 forms of entrepreneurial opportunity. Cham to actually outline 5 forms of this entrepreneurial opportunity. One way is introducing a new goods or introduce a new method of production. In the production flow, you can introduce a new production as I explained before in the lecture 1. Process management. Introduce the robotic arms to reduce the number of people in the production line. Introduce a new method of production. And the opening of new market with the introduction of the internet technology, you could see that the different market could be introduced. Online shopping, e-marketing, as well as when you consider data centers also selling the storage, virtual storage facility. You can find the plenty of opportunities could create because of the internet. And the control of a new source of raw materials or half manufactured good. And also next one is the creation of a new types of industrial organization. So the opportunity can be defined as the chance to meet a market need. Opportunity is a chance to meet a market need interested or want through a creative combination of resources and deliver the superior value for the customer. So identify the opportunities. To identify these opportunities, definitely you will have to think out of the box. If you are a traditional thinker, sometimes you will not be able to find a good solution for their needs and wants. So you always have to think, come out of the box and think. Gain the knowledge and experience. So you can use your prior knowledge or the experience and understand the needs and want of the customer segment. So that is definitely you want to understand the needs and wants of the customer segment. Then you consider the COVID pandemic situation. You could easily understood that the need of the vaccine need of the vaccine or need of some medicine to prevent or from this COVID-19 is very, very important, so that the people, then the companies, as well as the countries try to find the medicine for the COVID-19. So then, how the entrepreneurial idea identify new business opportunities? One is observing the trends. You can observe the trends, and the economic trends, social trends, cultural trends, technical trends also very, very important. Technical trends also very, very important, and political and legal and regulatory trends. Second one is these trends actually economical trends means higher disposable income, dual wages earners, families perform the pressure inflation, and socialist trend means align the demographic, health and fitness growth, senior living, busy life, increase suicides, social unrest. These are the social trends that align the demographic factors and health and fitness growth. When you consider nowadays, as I explained you can find the fitness club, two, three, or more than that in a one city, because and also senior living, those who are seniors and those who are in the very old, they want to ease their task in the lives. Likewise, the technological trends, the mobile cell phone technology and e-commerce, internet advances, nanotechnology, genetic engineering. Nowadays you can find the nanotechnology is used for the fertilizer, and you know that for the alternate solution for the fertilizer, they introduced the nanotechnology and nano fertilizers also. The government trends increase the regulations, new laws, new taxes, terrorism, political instability. Likewise, you can address those things and identify the trends to introduce the new product or services. And how entrepreneurs identify the problems. First one is every problem is a brilliantly disguised opportunities. For an example, create a coronavirus NHS QR code for your venue. I think you have seen that one, how ICT technology used for this corona. Then you could see a QR code pasted in the front glass or door in each and every shop. You can scan it and you can register. You can give your name, address, and telephone number will automatically get from your mobile phone, from the system, and your data is there. If you go to that one and scan and register it, then if something happens, for an example, if that place identified as the corona infected place, then you will be sent a message that in that day you have visited that place, and that place identified as a corona infected place, and please quarantine, or else please get the PCR test. And personal characteristics of the entrepreneur, that is the prior experience, cognitive factors, understand the business environment and the customers' perceptions, social networks, creativity, and other factors. And unexpected occurrence also. What are these unexpected occurrence? Unexpected occurrence, a success or failure that as they were unanticipated or unplanned often prove to be major innovative surprise to the society. And next one is the identify the market changes, change in the customer's attitude, advancement of the technology, industry growth, change in the market, I explained, I gave the several examples of this identify the market changes also in this pandemic situation also we could identify these market changes. And then how another one is demographic changes in the population, age, education, occupation, geographic location. Nowadays you can use this technology, perceptual changes in people's interpretation of factors and concepts. So you can see instead of the on-site meetings and the lectures we are using the online. So this is actually we can find some good things, and sometimes we have to tolerate something because of this the prevailing condition. And here wherever you are you can easily connect to the meeting using this technology, either Google Meet or Google Zoom, or else Microsoft introduced the Teams. Likewise, there are different technologies are there and the softwares are there to use this one. Then how popular this one actually? The people's interpretation also has been changed, and likewise. And knowledge-based concepts. Knowledge-based concepts actually these are the basis of creation or development of something brand new, where innovation are knowledgeable base often requires the considerable time period to invent, testing and market implement. Mobile technology, mobile phone technology and robotic technology, TV, and also when you consider the product and services introduced, it will take some time and to introduce to the market. When you can analyze this, first of all, he has to identify the environmental trends as well as personal characteristics of an entrepreneur. Environmental change, sometimes economic factors, social factors, technological advances, political and regulatory changes. One of a good example is for that one is the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And personal characteristic of entrepreneur. Then you can use this is actually environmental trends and this is your personal characteristics. So here, by identify these environmental changes and using my personal characteristics, I could introduce two ICT solutions during this pandemic situation. One is the global shopping cart. Next one is the smart name also the smart coin assist to monitor the COVID-19 patients who are in the quarantine centers and stay at their homes. So in that normally the PHIs must check those people, but you know that there are only 14,020, about 14,000 GN Gramanildari divisions and only 1,700 PHIs will have to cover all these areas. That is very difficult task because one PHI must look after at least 8 GNs, Gramanildari divisions. In such case, we introduce actually one of your colleagues also contributed a lot, and we introduce a system called the smart coin assist using the mobile technology, and we introduce a set of symptoms, predefined symptoms, and those who are at the quarantine centers must register, or the home must register in the system, and the name will be appeared under his GN division, and the GN division can access by the PHIs. The patients must send the symptoms twice a day after the SMS notice received to them, and the symptoms will be analyzed using the threshold values, and if the symptoms goes beyond that threshold values, immediately inform to the PHIs to look after that patient. So after 14 days time, the quarantine period is finished. The patient will automatically deactivated from the system and add to the quarantine list. Likewise, this is how the technology use analyzing the environmental trends and the personal characteristics. That would be a good business idea and very popular in these days. Those the actually we introduced to the government, and if I introduce to the personal quarantine centers, you know that there are some private hospitals conducted these quarantine centers. We could introduce that software solution to the quarantine centers, the private quarantine centers, and we could earn the money. Next, factors influencing the opportunity exploration, customer value of the product or services, stakeholder support, as well as capable management team. That is also very important to opportunity exploration. And what is an idea? Sometimes you can think that which one comes first, idea or the opportunity? Idea or the opportunity? Sometimes, most of the time, opportunity will come first, and to satisfy that, you may have the set of ideas. And we can find a little, we can find the vice versa also. There is an idea, find the opportunity to satisfy this idea. Especially when you see the commercial advertisements. But for an example, or sausages or any milk powder. First, the advertisement impel the customers to buy that product. In that advertisement, show how to cook and how to eat, and the children's likewise they provided the sophisticated, they provide an attractive way to get the customers, so that their product is there, the customers are impelled to buy that product. So likewise, the idea can come first, opportunity must come first, and to satisfy that, there may have a set of ideas. Sometimes in the rarely we can find, there may have the idea first and find the opportunity to satisfy that also. The most people in the modern time agree that an idea is an image existing or form in the mind. Idea gives rise to the concept, which are the basis of knowledge in mathematics, science, the arts, engineering, or the business. When you consider the ideas are hiding in your brain, and each one of you may have a brilliantly valued ideas. So, but you don't know how to get the idea from you. So sometimes it may help the memories, or the looking at the other people's solution and observing something, or experiences, your prior experience. Emotions also will help, and also researching and reflecting. These factors will help you to generate the idea in your brain. Then when you consider opportunity versus idea, an idea is a thought, impression, or motion. It may not meet the criteria of an opportunity. Also, many business fails not because the entrepreneurs that started them didn't work hard, but rather because there was no real opportunity. So that here, opportunity must first you may have. So when you can compare this opportunity versus idea versus opportunity, idea is lasts forever, and freely you can generate it, and everybody has ideas and do not need customers survive. And opportunity is perishable and requires work, requires fit, and must create the customer's value. That must opportunity has these, opportunity and idea may have these characteristics. And characteristics of a good idea. What are the characteristics of good opportunities? Attractive. Definitely it must attract, opportunity must attractive. And durable. It must last a certain time period. And you have to introduce the idea in a, when it is occurred, the real time. For an example, when you find a drug, vaccine for the COVID-19, after it finish, what would happen? No one is going to get that one. This is the best time to introduce the vaccine for the COVID-19. The time also very, very important. And anchored in the product or business that creates the value for its buyers or end users. So really, you can, when you consider the vaccine for the COVID-19, you can find the customer segment all over the world. Almost all the customers need those vaccines, so that you can find their requirement. So these four characteristics must be there: attractive, durable, timely, and anchored in the product or business that creates value for its buyers or the end users. Here in the vaccine, end users are the people who are living in the country. So these are the things you have to understand, the opportunities and ideas that will